Hey guys, welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. For those of you that didn't watch this morning's video or last midnight's video, you should go take a look. Generally, I don't do weekday deep dives. So the last time I did it was when the chart was right up here and I was spotting multiple red flags. So decided to do a weekday deep dive. And today, or I missed the video yesterday, so did a video around midnight, and that was to call out the potential bounce play that we are seeing. So if you do ever see a weekday deep dive, market deep dive video, make sure to check out the intro as well as the market portions. All right, so let's get right into it. SPX, we have finally found that, I don't know if I would call this bottom yet, but we are having a decent bounce so far. 30-minute trend has changed to the bulls. That is the first of 3 bull confidence that I'm looking for. From here, next one would be the hourly trend. Right now, we have not made a higher high yet, so hourly trend has not changed yet. However, looks like we have potentially just made a higher low. So let's see where this goes next. Bear volume, not significant. That's a great sign. And then the following, the third bull confidence would be on the break of this trend line, as well as 4-hour trend reversal, which would be right up here. Break of this, then higher high on the 4-hour. So what we're potentially looking at right now is a descending megaphone pattern. With descending megaphone pattern, if you were to just quickly Google it, descending megaphone. Upon the break of the upper trend line from descending megaphone, then you will see generally a decent follow through from the high of the megaphone to the low of the megaphone, similar to how a wedge works. So key right now, if we were to break that trend line through this after hours, we'll be looking at a very decent follow through. This was a 154.7 points drop, 3.9%, meaning if we were to break the megaphone from here, let's say the next bar, 3.9%, would bring us to that 4040 mark. So it's right in between the 4,000 and the 4090 target that we've been eyeing. And remember, in the last video when I did the weekday market deep dive, I was looking at how extended we were on the weekly, and now we have retested the weekly 8. Do understand that there could be one more week of consolidation for the real body to touch, but judging by the volume, I like what we're seeing right now. Although trend is not fully confirmed reversed yet until that 4-hour trend has been reversed. But it is a bull flag formation right now, and ultimately we'll be looking up at that 4090 target. Already has now turned green after the touch on the RD8. Next, let's take a look at NAS. NAS was the weakest on this correction, and interesting spot where we bounced from. Let's take a look at the weekly. Now, note that we bounced from this trend line, this white upper trend line, which lines up with this previous high as our support. If we were to look back at this trend line, this was a trend line that's developed since the beginning of 2003. And there's a few ways to draw this, so I drew all 3. And if you were to look at the trend lines, all 3 has had reactions. First reaction is where the pandemic pullback happened. Rejection on this trend line. Very notable. And then the middle one, we can see a rejection here before a breakout, and then the back test, then continuation, another back test before this crazy bull run we've had since beginning of November. So notable trend line as well since 2003. Now this third trend line, we can see running from the back of 2003 to the rejection over here. We had a stall around here. 1 week of stall before breakout, then support, support, support over the next 3 candles, 2 more supports, and now we're coming back to back test that trend line again. So amazing spot for the market to bounce from, for NAS to bounce from. Overall, we'll be looking up bullish. This to me gives me fairly good bull confidence. Dow weekly has turned green. Bull flag formation still continues. Never lost, never closed under that previous all-time high. Back tested 2 weeks in a row. Key zone to hold, and we held. All right, so the main reason why that personally I'm thinking this bull run will continue. One being VIX. It was very notable that even on the sell-off that we've seen over the last 5-6 days, VIX was never able to break this upper trend line of the wedge. And you can tell, you know, it's generally about 8 to 12 weeks on average, 8 to 20 weeks, depending on how you look at it, 8 to 12 weeks on average. And we are only 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in from the last pop. US dollar head and shoulder formation playing out. That key to lose is still at $90. All right, let's get into the hottest tickers. Bitcoin. Big rejection, huge bear divergence on the weekly. That is playing out right now. Do understand that on the weekly bear divergence, you are likely to, it is likely to take a few weeks to play out, versus if you're looking at divergence on a daily, it'll take a few days. So this, with Bitcoin, we could very well see a dragged out consolidation period. Now that 1-to-1 extension has been hit, we were well extended over on the weekly 8. We are seeing big pullback, and this week could potentially be a bearish engulfing candlestick that would indicate much further downside price action to come. Oil has been doing great. Congrats, oil bulls. Long-term trend line broke, and this doesn't look to, let's do it to the most recent. Okay, nearly came back to back test. That will make a little bit more. No, yeah, nearly came back to back test, and now we are seeing continuation. Very close to that pre-pandemic high already. And the forecast for oil is looking up at, I believe it's $80 by the end of the year. So there is still room to run. Especially since that the vaccines are just rolling out and all the vaccine plays are just beginning. Oil should return to, my anticipation would be around 70, 80. 70 at the very minimum. All right, next on the hottest ticker, we are looking at NVIDIA. Gap down and drop today with the dip being bought. Did the bounce make sense? Somewhat. Not a major support zone. We came back to visit the key zone and well below the daily 8. This is a little bit of a red flag that the break of previous all-time high with a lack of follow-through. But from here, I want to give it a couple days of action before re-entering full bull position. Let's see what the earnings brings us tomorrow. That should give a much clearer direction. I would anticipate a gap up and run tomorrow, to be honest, with NVIDIA, especially with how Bitcoin's been doing. So keep a close eye on NVIDIA tomorrow. Top watch. Next, PLTR. Oh, didn't even see this today. We actually broke down below the 1-to-1 extension target, but now forming a potential spinning bottom candle. Little bit lack on the bull volume. Judging by this previous 2 times of spike, the highest bull volume spike ever, I'm still anticipating further upside. Next, FSR. A little bit more bearish action than we would like to see. Earnings coming up on the 25th, so that should give clear direction on which way we're going. Same idea though, based on the bull volume spike, the highest ever on the 12th, would anticipate further upside. Now, keep in mind, most of these pullbacks are majority due to the pullback on the markets, but with the market bouncing now, look for those tickers that are showing, always look for those tickers that are showing relative strength, whether if it's in the pullback scenario or a bounce scenario. Now, FSR is showing a little bit of a relative weakness to the market bounce so far, but likely due to earnings coming up. So it remains on top watch. QS revisited this key zone, and we bounce from there. Low bear volume after high bull volume spikes. I love where the chart is looking. Ultimately, would be looking up, still at that gap fill of 51.73. No, that's not right. Why is this price not showing? Anyways, it's around 84.18. Right, the last of the hottest tickers, Zoom. Nice bounce today. You see that difference of a candle? This is just complete green versus FSR is red. So Zoom looking nice. Lost that previous low from the head and shoulders pattern, but big buy up. A little bit lacking on the bull volume. Earnings coming up as well. So do know that a lot of these have earnings coming up. If you're playing options, the IV is likely jacked up already into a known event. So if you don't see a complete earnings beat or miss, it is unlikely that you're gonna see a profit on shorter term options. All right, that's it for hottest stickers. Next is our top 2 to always remain on review. First one being Tesla. What a crazy bounce on Tesla today. Congrats, Tesla players. This 15%. Amazing. Big bull volume spike. From here, I want to see a continuation. We are still extended, even after today's bounce, we are still extended from the daily 8. Anticipation, want to see a revisit of this key zone from back here. Now that we filled the gap, basically bouncing from the 0.5, didn't really come back to this previous key support, but we'll be looking at around, give me 1 sec. Oh, I didn't have it drawing it. Okay, so this is done. The minimal of the bounce, 0.5. Yeah, we'll be looking up at around the 750 zone. I believe we were up after hours already. Yeah, we're right at that 0.382 after hours. Right now it's trading at 718.90. Next, Amazon. Amazon's getting a bit interesting. We came down to visit this previous key support, 3100-ish, and from there we are seeing a huge bounce with bull volume coming in. And there are people who are very interested in buying Amazon over the long run, I believe. But, we'll still be keeping a very close eye on Amazon. Want to see where this goes, whether we see continuation tomorrow. However, after this kind of, earnings beat meltdown, gonna be a little bit more cautious. Might just wait for that break to play that break instead. Sideways action since July, getting very dragged out now. Monthly is still a monthly bull flag. This chart is so close, ready to go. Likely gonna be in March. All right, next up is MARA. Next few tickers are the requested tickers. So first one up is MARA. With this one, we are seeing a bounce from previous key resistance that has served as a support after the break once. Now we're revisiting with a huge gap left behind and very extended from the daily 8. Anticipation is going to be a bounce. Volume today, increasing volume. Okay, so we came back, we held the GP, never closed under it on the hourly. Bull volume, slight increase. First sign of bull confidence, same thing. Get past that 30-minute 8. Judging by this, want to see that bull volume first thing tomorrow into a reversal. Next, AMRS. AMRS. Okay, so we rejected from previous key zone. And say if we were to break this zone, let's see. What's the next resistance that we're looking at? It's going to be one around this area. So lots of resistance along the way, but volume is looking decent. Huge spike here, big spike here. Now we're seeing consistent follow through. On the weekly, we are a little bit extended now, forming double spinning top candle. On the daily, not showing major concerns yet. I imagine we'll probably go sideways from here. Inside bar on the next week. Earnings is coming up on March 2nd. From here, once the inside bar forms, we're likely to wait for the weekly 8 to catch up. Form that bull flag before the next leg up. Chart looks very strong. Volume wise, there is lack of bear volume and consistent spike after spike of bull volume. Risk to reward, not really worth it up here. We'll say wait out a week or two, see if the bull flag actually forms in your favor without breaking the weekly 8, breaking under the weekly 8. But chart looks like it's set up for the next run. Next one, TLRY. Wow, didn't notice this earlier. Huge upper wick on the weekly. Held that weekly 8, so that's good. Daily, not seeing a clear spot where this bounce is coming from. Potentially the previous high. So resistance, broke over, and now we're back testing. That's the only thing that I can see. Tomorrow, you want to see that increasing bull volume. I believe this is the same across the marijuana sector. Let's take a quick look. APHA. No, APHA is stronger. You can see that this bull volume is already outweighing the bear volume. And on the smaller time frames, that's interesting. On the bigger time frame, it showed bounce from the trend line, but on a smaller time frame, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, APHA clearly stronger than the TLRY, as one would expect with the merger. Eventually, their prices would become very closely together. Right now, TLRY is still $7 ahead. So, if you were choosing to play between the two, I say the APHA is probably a better bet on upward momentum wise. Let's take a quick look at CGC as well. Similar to APHA, bull volume clearly outweighing previous day of bear volume. There's a gap behind. We'll be looking for that fill tomorrow. All right, next is XOM. Nice continuation. Just disregarding the market pullback whatsoever. 52-week high close. Oh, near that 52-week high close. 1 day away. But the highest close since pandemic. So judging by the volume and the price action, should see some follow through. We are getting a little bit extended from the daily 8, but I don't see any major red flags yet. No divergences. Things look good. Next, GOEV. This one's looking a little bit weaker. We were forming a wedge before. Instead of a third test, we gapped down and continue to sell off. We can see increasing bear volume, earnings coming up on March 3rd. This is your exit signal. Not seeing a clear bounce from anywhere. The only next level that it could bounce from there's no clear supports along the way. I'd say $12. The most recent support. Next one, ZOM. Nice dip buying today. Very low volume over the last few days. Seems like a lot of earnings are coming up. This one is March 3rd. I would think that we bounced from the trend line. Yeah, it looks like the easiest spot would be like that. So resistance, resistance, gapped up above, support, support, and now we're bouncing from that again. So let's take a look at previous resistances. We're right in that key zone right now too. This after hours price action makes it a whole lot easier to draw that zone. Right about there. Can see multiple rejections from before, supports, broke down under, multiple rejections again, and then multiple supports again. So this zone right here in between $2 and $2.31 is very clear. Can see it bounce from there before, support from there, potential rejections coming tomorrow. After hours, right on that $2. Based on the volume so far, I would anticipate further continuation tomorrow. Chart looks great. Next one, AMC. All right, so the next few are Wall Street bets, top trending. Volumes coming into AMC again. Nice close near the high of day. Increasing bull volume on the daily after a long-term consolidation, decreasing bear volume. So we based out very nicely. I was looking at this a few days ago. We didn't gap fill, missed it. Yeah, missed it by 7 cents. But on the daily chart, it looks very close to gap fill. Close enough, I guess, because now we are breaking over the 88. Would anticipate further continuation tomorrow. Looking for that minimal 0.382 bounce. Then following this would make more sense on the gap fill, which lines up with the 0.5 at 1291. Interesting play. After hours is trading lower, but would be looking up somewhere around there. Next, NEO. Big bull volume came in today. Not exactly an ideal spot to bounce from. Let's see if this works. No, there's no trend line. Aside from the reason of this support, the previous support, don't really see a reason why we would bounce from here. You could potentially argue that it is something like that, because we can see support from here and multiple supports here again and again here. So that could be the reason why we're bouncing from here. This is the only noticeable thing that I see. But however, regardless, the bull volume is coming in. We're going to want to see that follow through tomorrow after ours is trading up already. So NEO is actually looking decent, especially after this long-term consolidation. Earnings is coming up on March 1st, so would avoid playing options. Commons could be a good idea. Next, LOGI. Logitech. Very similar to NEO. Bull volume came in after long-term low volume. Seeing a channel. Wick. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, long-term channel. You can see the last two times we rejected, they were both wicks, so you draw it to the real body. Because now this rejection makes sense, real body again. And then from the bounce, two supports from previously, now another support. This is looking like a beauty. There is upside potential of upwards to about 120 to 125. Is this GP as well? Right around that GP. If you got in, congrats. One of the best entries that you can probably ask for in these times. Look for that follow through tomorrow. Want to see the gap fill tomorrow. Next, HST. As you can see, most of these Wall Street tickers I have not reviewed before, so they may take a little bit longer. And if you're ever interested, you can always try drawing it out yourself as well. Good practice. Not as clear of a channel, but somewhat makes sense. Multiple supports back here. Gap down, bought up. Support, and two resistances so far. Two rejections so far. Earnings was a beat. Low bull volume, continuation on price action, rejection. Now long lower wick. Didn't touch the 88 yet. No clear trend aside from this that I'm seeing. Potential resistance or a potential trend line over here. This makes more sense. So if you're in bull play, risk to reward is not so much worth it up here anymore, but 88 is your guide. Next, JP. trading under the 88, increasing bear volume after a huge spike in bull volume. Now this is why huge upper wick such as this one is considered a red flag. We did see continuation after this big bull volume, but from there we are seeing pullback, trading under the 88, another rejection from the key zone. Would anticipate a back test of this previous key zone. If anything, gonna be around that 250 area, the last previous high. All right, next is run. Nice bull volume came in today, earnings on the 25th. That is a pattern that I'm seeing here. Head and shoulders, broke bear. So head and shoulders confirmed. With the neckline over here, and we can see the break of the neckline is on decent bear volume. Now seeing a little bit decreasing bear volume with a spinning bottom candlestick on decent bull volume. This is a very well could be a potential reversal candle. Gonna have to see what tomorrow brings. If it's a reversal, you want to see that confirmation tomorrow on bull volume towards that 88. But earnings coming up, so not really worth playing option wise. All right, next DKNG. Huge bull price action today. Decent bull volume. Obviously, this bull flag didn't really play out. We came back to back test this upper trend line of the wedge instead. Breakout, fake out to all-time high. Then from there, big or long-term correction. And we held the key zone. Want to see that follow through tomorrow. Earnings on the 26th. What did their previous earnings do? Negative, negative, positive, positive. All right, looks like it's going to be a toss. So if you're playing options, make sure you are using lotto sizing. And if you're playing commons, that should be much less worry. Ideally, see that increasing bull volume tomorrow into earnings. The run into earnings. Next one, ABNB. I wanted to take a quick look at this one. It's a very good spot that we bounced from. I completely missed this one. I was busy picking up positions in elsewhere. And if you look at this, even though we lost the lower trend line of the channel, this previous key zone that we bounced from, that 170-ish, that is where we're bouncing from today. And lining up with the overall run, the 0.5 from this run. Let's see what this would bring. Doesn't line up. But yeah, so we were extending on the weekly. So far looking decent. Would anticipate a little bit further lower price action based on how the weekly bear volume is increasing comparing to last week's. Would not be touching, but there's good opportunities in Airbnb. Consider it part of your vaccine play if necessary. Let's see which ones. Let's do AAL. Yeah, let's do AAL, CCL, and then finish it off with SCORE. All right, AAL continuation today, increasing bull volume, looks great. Next resistance coming up at 2177, then 2280. Then from there, there's going to be a lack of resistance all the way up till this zone. Let's draw this out. Going to be right around there. So lots of upside potential. And this is only the first resistance zone. From there, we could be looking up all the way up at 59.08. Lots of potential to this chart. 59.08 would be 150% from where we are right now. Next one, CCL. Carnival Cruise Lines, Carnival Corp. This chart is extremely strong. They had dilution offering yesterday. So we gapped down, but yeah, so we had a slight gap down of 3.5%. Then from there, we continue selling off another 6.5%, but the whole dip got bought. On increasing bull volume on the daily, 4-hour 8 was, even the 4-hour 8 was held. This chart is looking extremely strong. 52-week high? Nope, almost 52-week high. And lack of resistance after we pass this 3360-ish area, this previous stall. Risk to reward not so worth it up here anymore. RSI is getting a little bit hot. But after this daily touch, we could very well just see continuation extended run. We're not even extended. Well, now that we touched the daily 8, we're not even extended from the daily anymore. Keep your eyes on Carnival Cruise Line. Last but not least, SCOR. Huge bull volume came in today. Second highest since IPO. Yeah, second highest since IPO. This bull volume. Okay, maybe third highest. Yeah, third highest bull volume since IPO on a single daily. Spinning bottom candlestick on decent bull volume. Would anticipate further follow through tomorrow. Essentially, we held that GP. Got multiple ads in today. Want to see that follow through tomorrow. This ticker should have lots of upside going into end of 2021. Now that the bill has been passed, it's there's a lot of anticipation of SCOR being uplisted to NAS. Or is it SPY? One of the two. But yeah, upon the announcement of that news, anticipate something like similar to a Tesla run. All right, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the content. If you're looking to get out of debt or build that first pot of gold, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button in order to get updates on our new videos daily. Also, check out our website at totalcontroltraders.com. We offer a 7-day free trial to our chatting platform where trading ideas are shared and charts are reviewed live. Stay safe and be in control. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.